Okay, so we're here for a new episode of the Who Art Thou podcast. I'm with Cloud Rat, Madison, and Rorik. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This is the 250th episode, and couldn't do it with a band I love more, so much appreciated.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
for having us.
You're very welcome. Now, as I said, there will be a lot of glazing in this episode because I absolutely adore you guys. But I'm going to get this question out of the way because I couldn't find it, and it's been bothering me since not bothering me, but why did you pick the name Cloud Rat as the band?
So when I was little, my dad is the owner operator for a moving company. And when it was time for his visitation, like to pick me up, he would just kind of like throw me in the back of his semi, and I would be with him like on these long haul jobs all the time, and he would have to go move people, and so he would kind of leave me in his cab, and I would watch whatever VHS I had. Usually it was The Emperor's New Groove. That was one I remember very distinctly watching all the time because it was the one VHS we had in the cab. So I would kind of be left in there to my own devices for a long time during the day, and he would come back and bring me some food and stuff. But I was often left alone, so I would sit outside and there would be seagulls, in these parking lots that he would leave me in. He's a great guy. And he would throw I would throw my food to the seagulls and to like play with them basically, and like entertain myself. And like he would always come back and be like, don't feed all those cloud rats. They're like rats with wings. And he called them that all the time. I had no idea that there was an actual animal that was called a cloud rat.
Yeah.
So I always just knew it was like my dad is this truck driver, and he would just be like, don't be feeding the rats with wings, the cloud rats. And that's literally, I wrote a song called Cloud Rat, and then I had it in a list, and I don't actually know how we even decided it being the name. We just kind of was like, that's cool. That is a good name. And that's what the song was about. But yeah.
Oh, class. Okay. That's a very different answer to what I thought I was going to get.
Yeah.
So why'd you name your band after a monkey?
People ask. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
One of the things that I love about your band is like, because it's obviously it's grindcore like at its core, but you blend so many different genres into it over the course of your whole discography. I was wondering, like, when you're writing music, does genre specifics come into it, or is it just that organically that how it comes out?
I mean, I think it's hard to escape genre sometimes.
Yeah.
Like we're like, we are, since we first started, branded ourselves as like a grindcore band. So we're like, we got to have a blast beat. But I think it's really because we're all like ADHD fucking insane people. So 100%. You get bored. Like you don't want to just keep writing the same thing. And it's like, always reaching, always trying. And I mean, everybody in the band listens to very eclectic stuff. I mean, Brandon's a jazz instructor. Madison's like, I mean, your music taste is in the van. I mean, we'll go from 0 to 1,000,000 and every kind of fucking thing. Yeah. So I think it just naturally finds its way in there.
And for what would be kind of, if you're talking about influences, like what do you think would be an influence on your music that people would be surprised to hear from both of you?
Oh my God.
Sade.
Yeah, Sade.
Sade? What's Sade?
Sade, like the band Sade and the singer Sade. I don't know how to describe.
Is she Irish, or she lives in Ireland, doesn't she? Am I crazy?
No, I don't think she's Irish. I think
Enya?
She's English. No, I mean, I love Enya. I was just listening to Enya yesterday. I mean, that is a huge influence, actually. I don't know. I mean, we all love Bjork a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, we really listen to everything from, like Japanese noisecore, like here's the genres, here's the weird niche genres, to 1970s like English folk, like all the way to like Human Remains and everything in between. So I feel like it's hard to say just like one band, but I definitely think that Bjork has always been a huge influence between the three of us. That's like an artist that we love like a lot, and we all can just put that on and be like very happy.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know if
very,
anybody
very sad.
People probably wouldn't be too surprised if they, I mean, we've put out some weird shit, so they'd probably be like, oh yeah, of course they're like into whatever goofy stuff,
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have a question about the weird shit you put on, because, like, obviously, being a fan, "Don't Let Me Off the Cliff" was such a curveball when that came out, and it's you did it so well. I was just like, what was the kind of like? Why did you decide to write an album like that?
Well, first it came out of a label obligation, actually, which I know sounds boring to say. Not even obligation. It was just when we did that record with Artifact, they were like, hey, to differentiate the CD from the record, why don't you try and do something different? It could have been a live album, it could have been, you name it, covers. And we were like, how about we do something completely different? And it sort of came out of like frantic unpreparedness too, because I mean, as you can probably tell, like our lives are fucking nutso. So Madison and I basically got 2 weeks to do that. I can't remember. Didn't we get back from tour or something? We're like, we have to do this right away in order to have it be ready for the label. So,
but we also, I feel like me and like Rorik and we're like complete Midwesterners in the way that like we just hang out for a million hours together and spend the night and like are constantly inspired by stuff. So we can just like we just kind of hit record and allowed ourselves to do whatever the fuck we wanted to. And then during the day we went swimming and tubing down the river and played with my dog that was there and Rorik's kids, and just kind of like really just like vegged out and allowed ourselves to just like record when we wanted to record, or if we had an idea, we just kind of hit record and did it. Like,
yeah,
it's very funny to think about.
Because it was that short time frame, though, that's why Brandon wasn't on the initial part.
Yeah,
and that was why later, when we did we did an entire new remix of that, and then added, we added the new songs with Brandon in it. Because I just remember the time crunch being like, fuck, we got to do this right away.
Yeah.
2 weeks
I think it was because
crazy,
it's a lot.
Though, for such a curveball, because like if you go, it's very funny going through the discography and then you get to that album. And by the way, I love the album. You're just like, God, 2 weeks to completely change the entire sound of the band.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound. It's funny because I think that's a happy accident, and you hear this kind of thing a lot from like filmmakers and stuff, right? It's like you strike on something right then and run with it, and magic can come out. But since then, though, we've messed around with trying to do other stuff, and it's like it's been difficult to try to capture that spontaneity again, and then because as soon as we started trying to dig, so like, we got more time now, we'll do something. And it's just fucking impossible. I don't know. Or I mean, like life has changed a lot for us too, and stuff. But it's definitely, we have a bunch of stuff, like little ideas and demos, and it's like nothing has really touched on that. Like it has captured that feeling. I feel like so.
Like lightning in the bottle,
I don't know.
basically.
The 2 weeks thing. It kind of sticks in my head though that it being such a condensed time period that there was like this little magic at the time. So.
I have to ask you about Threshold, because that's, in my opinion, it's one of the best kind of, it's one of the best albums I've ever listened to. I absolutely adore it. I love Kaleidoscope particularly, is just such an emotional, heavy song. I think it's amazing. I know you wrote that in lockdown, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Yep.
what was that kind of writing experience like, from going from like maybe the studio and all that kind of stuff to actually having to write it in basically not with each other?
Yeah, that was so. As I said before we started recording, during the pandemic, I, like many other people, tried to do a little podcast, just to connect with people. And part of that show was like writing, like teaching, or not teaching, but at least showcasing like how I would approach a song. And actually, there's a couple songs on Threshold that were partially written during that show. So I think that exercise combined with, like, we would just, typical send demos back and forth and stuff and talk about it. And it was because we ended up recording that whole thing ourselves rather than go into a studio. So that was a huge change in that way as well. So,
And did you enjoy that experience of recording it yourselves?
Oh, we have with all of our other bands have been DIY since we were babies. So I'm in a bunch of other bands and we record in the basement of my house, in the house that Rorik's in. In the house that Rorik's in is where we recorded Threshold. And so our, there's so many punk albums and demos that we've recorded in our basement. So for me personally, doing that was a lot easier and a lot more familiar for me than sometimes going into the studio. Sometimes I feel like when I need to record in a studio kind of setting, I kind of need Rorik to be there with me to kind of be my moral support, to be like, this is what we're doing. Because I do have ADHD really bad, and I'll get pretty overwhelmed. But I am so familiar with going down in a basement and having a mic there and having a bunch of people around, you know what I mean? And kind of doing it that way, that I almost prefer that, because it's just what I've always done. So, but yeah. That's my perspective. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and I would do it again. I will say though, such a learning curve doing a full album, because we had done a few things. We did the Adult Swim song ourselves.
Oh yeah,
we did the Opion cover ourselves. We did a few things, and so smaller projects was one thing, but doing an entire full album. And I wanted it to be perfect, right? And I'm pretty sure this is a typical story, but when people are mixing and doing all of their own stuff, you could, spend a century on it, tweaking. And also I damaged my eardrum too, like a complete dumbass, tracking guitar in the same room as me. Well, I had headphones on and I didn't think to put earplugs on under them. So I was blasting a guitar cab in my to the left of me, while the drums I had, in order to hear the blast, I would have the kick turned up with the high pitch click, 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 click. And it was, I remember now it's fucked. I fucked my ear up, but,
hey, so, I have hearing aids, so don't worry about it, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be just fine. I mean, I've been working construction my whole life too, so my ears are goofy, but no, overall, I would do it again. I do think the mixing, though, I think we'll probably record it ourselves and then, take it to a studio to mix. Yeah.
But it came out it's funny. I say to my friends, because a lot of my friends are not metalheads or hardcore heads or anything like that. And they're like, do you ever get angry listening to the music you listen to because it's so angry? And it's there's very few songs that make me angry. But Aluminium Branches, when that fucking when the second half of that, so the breakdown hits in every single time, just in my head, oh.
Hell yeah.
I love heavy.
I love playing that song live. That's one of my favorite songs live.
It's so good. Can you tell me the origins of where that song began and that breakdown as well?
Do you got a answer for this one, Manny?
Oh God. Uh,
So I know
that
the line during that breakdown, and I love that line.
yeah, like cracking eggs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's just literally the epitome of like what threshold means. You're at the peak of a breaking point, but like for me, that I guess I wrote that song just like a really disoriented holiday season for me. Like I it's hard to say exactly what that song really is about because I write so like
Linky
Moment, is it?
yeah, it's sometimes it's not really just like about a specific thing. It's about all of these moments that are adding up to, something and uh you know and I feel like that song really specifically is like this feeling of absolutely not being able to escape anything at all ever for forever, and that's just the reality, and you have to just like be okay with that. And it's like, yeah, you're just kind of like, I don't know, like you're ready to combust, you're ready to just like, I don't know. Yeah, you're at your breaking point for sure. I'm trying to like really remember like the exact feelings of what I was thinking when I was writing that song. But I feel like once I heard Rorik's riff and like Rorik's writing, then I'm able to like put together a lot of stuff because I like will just do string of consciousness writing of like lyrics on everything. I'm looking at writing on the back of books, on receipts, on napkins. I have a really hard time just like sitting down and being like, I'm going to write this song, for this certain riff or something. So I really just kind of like write, and then I hear everything, and then I'll slowly modify, to accompany the way the music is making me feel and what lyrics are going to really like flow really well with it. But there's also like this whole level of like complete discordance also as well with his riff, with the songwriting and my lyrics, and somehow it works. But yeah, so yeah,
I love that somehow it works.
yeah.
I'll still never forget
I
seeing
think
that song. Oh, sorry, go on, Rorik. Apologies.
Oh, I was just going to add about, because you asked about the breakdown too. And I also sort of write in a stream of consciousness as well. And I think that the breakdown, the chuggy, capital H hardcore breakdown we don't really do that very often. And it may have just been
because it came as a shock because when I got the album the first time, I was like, oh fuck. I wasn't expecting, and it's the first song as well. I was like, I wasn't expecting it at all. I think that's what makes it great. It just kind of comes in. You're like, whoa, shit.
Yeah, it's like it in a way like using dynamics to say something different. It's just another way of doing that. Because I personally come from hardcore. Like I've been in hardcore bands, and I love that stuff. But at the same time, like if you're just doing that over and over, it's like it gets pretty old to just have breakdowns every song. So tried to change it up a bit, and that seemed it's funny because I feel like a lot of that song is like sort of ethereal too. Like it's got those sort of different riffs. It's like that it keeps going without repeating stuff, right? And so to end it with like an end cap of just a breakdown just seems nonsensical, and somehow it actually ties it together. I don't know.
I still remember when I saw it in London for the first time. I was brought 3 of my friends. And the day before, we all went to Joji, which is like, I don't know if you know Joji, but it's a completely different, it's pop kind of R&B type of music. I was like, if we had to go to his Joji thing, we're going to Cloud Rat tomorrow for my birthday. And they were watching, they hadn't seen you guys before. And then I was just like, wait for it. And then the breakdown hit in, and all of them just went, what the fuck? it was class. It was awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because aluminum branches is literally me talking about the branches on a Christmas tree.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it's just like the also like the stagnant feeling. I had to pull up my lyrics because I was just like, we have so many songs. We have so many fucking songs.
Yeah, it's brutal.
I'm like, I have to like, my brain needs to be jogged every once in a while because man, mama is not all there. And the older I get, she's trying. She is trying. But yeah, that I feel like also that song is again with the threshold aspect, but it is also about stagnation and like being at a point where it's just like, yeah, there's nothing else you can do. It's committing, as we say in Cloud Ride, it's committing to the void for sure. You are committing wholeheartedly to the void.
I have to ask you about, now I would imagine you guys don't hang around in forums talking about yourself, but Pollinator as an album, like in terms of like modern grind and new school kind of grind, is like a very, very, very celebrated album. I was wondering, like, what does it feel like for you, for yourselves, to have an album that resonates with so many people?
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, people adore that album. It's on best of lists all the time. It's a fucking amazing album.
I will say, okay, you ever seen the movie Jerry Maguire?
Yeah.
Show me the money. That's what I will say is how this fucking feels. No. It's really nice, but I mean, we're just, it's probably just sounds so boring and cliche, but we're just people. And I work a fucking job. I work on train cars, you know, like the rock and rolledness of life feels pretty separate sometimes. And
yeah.
And I think
Definitely.
I like that because I think that we meet a lot of people playing in bands and stuff, and if you let the ego get to you, you become a prick. And
yeah.
I know it's a tale as old as time, but so for me, listen to me, I'm up on my high horse about this already. I'm the prick.
Yeah, you fucking asshole.
I'll just say it feels good. I mean, that record, I love that record. I'm glad that we did it. I mean, I'm very proud of it.
Yeah,
Well, you should be. Madison, for yourself?
Yeah. No, I love that record. It's super fun to play. I was again in an insane hellscape in my head for that whole record, which happens. I feel like Cloud Rat Records really just they come out when they need to come out. And that one is another, I mean, it's another form of therapy for me, you know, like I love that record. I was going through a fucking brutal ass time in my life during that record as well. Because the nightmare never ends. No. But yeah, no, I love that. And it makes me so happy when people, you know, want to express how much they love any of our music or anything about our band. And I don't know, it's really wild when people are really into something, and like it definitely means a lot to us. But it definitely is like we all work 9-to-5 jobs and are just like trying to get by. So it is like when we are on the road and people are saying stuff like that, you know, it's just really, it's really wild, and it feels really beautiful. I'm very, I feel very fortunate that I've been able to, you know, play music with my best friends and meet so many people that like the albums or the lyrics specifically resonate with them. That's always really touching and fucked up in a very incredible way. Yeah, I'm always just like, what? Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. It is truly a beautiful it's very beautiful. So I love it.
What I always find very funny about, like, particularly like bands like yourselves and stuff, friends of mine, like Death Heaven is another band that I absolutely adore, but like friends of mine who are not into kind of extreme music or heavy music, they're always kind of like, can you even understand what they're saying? It was like, you can't pick up on it. But I was also like, by the way, I was like, particularly with you guys, I was like, the lyrics are fucking beautiful. Like you have this like destructive kind of, but there's just such very expression, emotional lyrics as well, and such just hard music. So just want to get that in as well. The lyrics are fantastic in your music.
Oh, thank you so much.
What I was going to ask is like,
I'll say I'm also
go on, sorry,
a
Rorik.
fan of your lyrics, Madison.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
But what I was gonna, because I've been following you guys for a while and like reading interviews with you, and like you're very much like a DIY band, which I love seeing. But what aspects of that kind of DIY community and nature do you think is most important to yourselves?
Oh man, community. For me, community in the DIY world. I book shows in Detroit. I make flyers. I go to benefits. When I mentally feel like I have enough capacity to do that. I'm definitely not like, at every local gig for sure. No, I can't do that. But I guess for me, it's been changing over the years. Like there was a lull for a while. In how I was participating in my local DIY scene in Detroit. But now as a 35-year-old woman in Detroit with all my friends and playing in punk bands, I feel like what I've needed and what I like the most about DIY right now is just community. And that aspect is really important to me, and collaboration, you know what I mean, I think is really cool. And just like, that you can do it yourself, that you don't need all of these, you don't need to reach a higher plane in order to like do the thing you want to do. You can just do it, but yeah, I don't know if does that make sense? I don't know.
I think it made perfect sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say as well, though, as far as like community goes, I've been thinking about this a lot because so Madison and I grew up in mid-Michigan, in sort of rural areas. I live in Mount Pleasant, and we used to have shows all the time at like whatever, VFW halls, barns. There was a church that used to let us rent it out here all the time.
You guys playing in church would never happen in Ireland.
Oh, I know.
Well, but it's funny is like as kids, all this was happening, and it was neat because it was, it wasn't just a bar and stuff. And I know this stuff still goes on in places, but I will say, at least from what I can tell here in Mount Pleasant, I don't see it at all. And like I used to own a record store here. I opened that up for that purpose. Like me and my friend Brent wanted to have shows in a place, and so the records would pay for the rent to then have shows all the time. And like as time went on, as you get older, it's more difficult to keep that kind of thing going, like, and sustain yourself healthily.
Yeah, totally.
So I just lately I've been, like Madison said, we're getting older. I'm gonna be 40 next year, and I had to step back from a lot of this stuff years ago because, or at least from always thinking about DIY stuff.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel guilty about it because I was a person here making that kind of stuff happen. And it's like, it feels like there's a vacuum now. And I'm not saying I'm like super important in that way. I just know that was happening, right? It's just a reality. There is nothing happening here now. I went to this hardcore fest a couple weeks ago, in Detroit, called Tied Down, it's getting pretty popular. But I met so many old friends there at that show, and it was like it was like just feeling that feeling again of people I've known for 25, 30 years or whatever, like in the same place, fucking having each other's back and stuff. I don't know. Just thinking about community and stuff and how important it is, but how difficult it can be to sustain as well.
Yeah. And definitely, I also think that there's like a limit. Like, it kind of goes a ways. I like I said earlier, I spent years like for a while being like, I can't physically go to shows. Like I can't, unless we're like playing a gig, I can't like mentally handle it. Like the amount of people, the sensory overload, my like how bad my anxiety is, like stuff like that. Like, and learning to like over the years to actually like listen to what I need, like in order to be like a functioning human. Like you gotta just, you know, and when you are the only person doing a lot of stuff, like at one point I was in like 7 bands and I was like one of the only
7?
drummers. Yeah, definitely. I definitely had many talks of my friends being like, you can't be in 7 bands. And I was like, I need to be in 7 bands. You know what I mean? Like I'm not super, you know, important either. But like Detroit seems really, really big, but it also has a very small, you know, metal and punk scene that I've learned to, you know, appreciate in all these different ways. I've hated it at times. I've loved it at times. But I just know that like with how fucked things are, and I realized that, you know, that I can have boundaries even with DIY and be like, I don't need to do things that I don't want to do. Shocker there. It's fucking hard to do that. And I've realized that like, you know, a lot of the shows in Detroit, the smaller shows, we do what we can for bands that can come through. You know, you might not make any money, but we'll, you know, make you food, and like the people who come out will come out, and like, and it's cool in that way. But I also feel like when I go to shows now, I feel like being with my friends, like Rorik was saying, is like the most hopeful thing in my life at this point. And like, even if I'm just standing outside the gig, feeling any sort of community and hopefulness, and like just, you know, knowing I can leave when I want to leave, and like all that kind of stuff. I know that might sound dumb, but like
no, it doesn't at all. No.
Yeah, that's the aspect of it that I lately in the last year has been really like good for me mentally, is like being like, okay, like we're not just all lost in a sea of fucking fuckery all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's my friend and I can hang out with them. And this thing, this weird niche thing we're both into, bringing us together. Yeah. It feels nice.
As somebody who puts on shows in Dublin as well, like as I get older, it's funny, I've become more like, all my friends are like my friends who are not metalheads are shocked that I don't mosh. And it's like, I am extremely claustrophobic. I can't really be in so I tend to just be at the outskirts just watching it. But that feeling of like when you're at a local show and you see a mate and you're just like, oh, because I'll go to shows on my own all the time. But like when you see a mate, you're just like, yes, I'm safe now.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever I go to a show and my friend Tuesday is there, we are both very neurodivergent, and we see each other and I'm like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. And she's like, I'm so glad you're here too. And then we just descend into hyperfixation, like word vomit, and I'm like, oh, that's so great, I'm gonna go now, bye, I love you. Like, you know what I mean?
Because I have a question, by the way, just about grindcore as a genre, because like in Ireland, like the main kind of core kind of metal or extreme kind of hard, we have a hardcore scene which is getting bigger and bigger each year. But like for metalheads who are like doom, black metal, sludge, they become the main ones. When they think about grindcore, they tend to think that it's kind of just noisy nonsense basically. And like you guys are kind of a prime example of writing like extremely like socially conscious music that's also fast and fun as well. So I was just like, for yourselves, what do you think is like the biggest misconception that people have about grindcore as a genre?
That it's not political at all, and it never has been. I mean, Napalm Death. I mean, there's so many UK style like grind bands that have been, and death metal bands, and like that have been talking about socially conscious stuff because we're all in this fucking world together. Like, yeah.
I don't know if
sorry.
it's
like,
a misconception, but like some of the, I'm trying to think of how to word this, but like some of the nastiest, noisiest, most noise sounding grind bands that I think are some of the greatest, you know, like Pizza High Five and stuff. Like even the bands that seem like silly. Like we played with this band a few months ago called Hungry Bitches, which it was like an all trans like band with songs that were themed around Two Girls, One Cup.
It's incredible.
They were awesome. And it's like, I know that sounds like the silliest thing ever, but like the people in the band are they everybody has a political / social,
of course,
like their opinions and where they are in society and with. So like, I think that just because something sounds zany, looks zany or whatever, like doesn't mean that it's doesn't have value or that it's just nonsense. And even if maybe what they're doing, maybe some band does do nonsense, there's still, I think there's an interesting value in that. And I think that like free jazz and stuff is a maybe a counterpoint that people, or what's the word? An example of something that a more learned person might be like, oh, just because it's jazz, so they like it's smart and has value. Even though you're listening to it, it's just, and it's like, oh, like, right, like,
like one of the artists that we have doing kind of the rounds at the moment is this artist called Lymphedema. So like when you see him, it's like gore noise, harsh noise with kind of a grindcore kind of element to it as well. It's balaclava type of thing. Halfway through the set, he'll put a vocal thing on his mic, and it'll sound like bong rips. Yeah, it's like it's just a one-man band type of thing.
Shout out Biosist.
I had him for a charity show here for special needs kids like 3 months ago, and friends of mine came in and they were like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh my god, I love that.
And I was just like, "That is pure art, and you can't tell me otherwise."
Right.
It's awesome.
I mean, they're playing for the charity. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So it was like, exactly. It was like, it's a charity show for special needs kids. If you have an issue with them playing, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like whoever wants to contribute, fucking, you know.
But it's very funny because like elitist metalheads will and hardcore heads would be like, "Oh, this is just nonsense." It's like, it's not nonsense. It's fun, and it's like have a bit of like, stop taking yourself so seriously all the time.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. That's one thing in this life is definitely don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah. Anyway,
love that.
So I always have a section in this podcast which is I call drunk questions that ask at a bar. But before I do that, I just want to ask, like, is Cloud Rat? Are you guys working on any new thing at the moment, or?
Very slowly.
Slowly.
This is definitely like
all I wanted to hear.
We used to put out multiple things a year. And now it's getting, well, we're looking at like 4 or 5 years now since our last thing. Life's been challenging. I know that around the world, you know, obviously there's a lot going on, but our personal lives, like my dad died last year, and
sorry to hear that. Like
my mom's going through cancer too. So we're kind of like, I'm like sort of the guitar, being the only stringed instrument in the band is like I guess the core of the songwriting. And I just have not had the capacity to really sit down. Like it takes so much effort, and maybe it doesn't sound like it sometimes, but like, you know, hours a day forever to do it. And I just haven't been able to do that. But there's ideas floating around, and I'm pretty confident that we will do more.
Yeah.
Just when it's right.
Sick.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I got an incredible opportunity to do a tattoo apprenticeship under a woman that I like.
Oh, amazing.
Absolutely adore. Almost 4 years ago, and we kind of just made this conscious effort to. We have done so much for so long since I was like 19 years old, and again, knowing when to be like, hey, we don't have to do anything. Like we can stop. We can stop and like focus on other things. And I really needed to like buckle down and like learn this craft. And I can't, at a certain point, I can't do that if I'm constantly gone, you know?
Yeah.
And it takes a very long time to be even just okay at tattooing. And so I pivoted. Brandon opened a record store last year, and that's something he's always talked about doing and wanting to do. And again, like I also have crazy personal life stuff. It's just life is always lifing, and we're not like I have lots of lyrics written and stuff like that, and poems and stuff like that. It's just knowing it will happen.
Yeah.
And I think we'll all know when we're ready to have it happen and need it to happen when it needs to happen. But yeah, I feel like in like the next year or something, we really just need to spend time together going tubing down the river of our hometown together and hugging and snuggling and laughing for hours and hours and hours on end. And that's what I really need from my cloud rap bros right now.
Yep.
Sorry, Rorik.
I also, to sort of tie that back to your DIY question earlier as well, like we've been in an interesting place as a band for a number of years now, like halfway between, like we signed with Artifact, and I would say they're sort of a DIY label in a way, but they're like it's like a major indie too at the same time. It's a weird sort of middle ground. And we've done I always used to book everything, and then we did booking agents, and then we went back to booking ourselves. Like we've done a lot of different configurations as to DIY versus music industry stuff. Mm-hmm. And at this stage, I'm just going to say I hate the music industry, and I also wrestle greatly with doing things ourselves because it's hard, and we're not the best at it. Like we've had multiple failed like plans for tours that have fallen through, and it sucks. Like I think there's one thing I wish that we could have done more to, like, we've never been to Ireland. We've been trying for years. We used to talk to Jamie from Grinding Halt. This has been fucking 15 years ago. We've been trying to get to Ireland, trying to get to Japan, Australia, like all over the place. And for one reason or another, it's always like it's fallen back on us struggling with our, like, we're fuck ups. We're not fuck ups, but we're definitely,
I get
people.
It. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's, and then I see other bands that we've known for a long time, like inching more and more into the music industry, and I'm glad for them, but like that world sucks.
No, it does. He's totally right. It's not.
Yeah, like as somebody who's had, like, I've had various different degrees of bands that have been on, like, as in, like, I've had bands that releasing their first single on this podcast, and have bands that have a record deal, and even the bands that have record deals are kind of going, it's fucking shit. You make no money. You're touring, like, you're doing like 100 dates a year or something like that for nothing.
Yep.
And you have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, and the streaming, as good as it is, like, cause I discovered you guys through streaming, it's still like, you guys don't see nothing of that as well. So the whole industry is wild. It just doesn't make any sense. Like even so I started booking shows like 2 years ago, and not that I thought it was going to be easy, but it was just like, I was just like, oh, this could be fun. I know all the bands. I know all the venue people. And it's hard. The whole thing is, everything is difficult about it.
Yeah. And it's like, you're doing so many dates and you're showing up, you're loading in, you're playing. It takes a lot on your mental health. And then to come back and like, not like, if we take time off of work, like we need money. Like we have, like I need money to feed myself. We need, Rorik has children. Like it's like we all have these. We are all very working class people. Like, and so like to get plane tickets and to like facilitate all of this stuff and do contacting all the people too. When you have severe anxiety on top of all of that is pretty, it's hard. It is hard. Yeah, it is hard for sure.
It's amazing that people do it. I'm proud of all the friends who pull up all this shit off.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
it's absolutely incredible. Like,
but guys, I don't want to keep you all. I don't want to keep you all morning because I know it's very early. So I'm
awake now.
So as I said, these are. Oh, you're awake
we're
now.
good.
Okay.
I've got an out at like 11. I think is when I needed to be done. So.
Okay. The first question I always ask is, what was the first and last album you fell in love with?
First.
Mine, which is the last album that I fell in love with, which is very funny because it is an Irish album, and I always don't know if I say it correctly. Mm-hmm. And I'm obsessed with it. And every time for the last year, I go to grimy flea markets or record stores. I'm always looking for the Clannad album. I think it's just called Dulamon. Well, it is Dulamon, but I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah. And
that's a niche pick, Madison, by the way.
Oh, I know. Believe me. When everyone's over at my house and they're partying, everyone's listening to Discharge, and I'm like, we could listen to. Boom! Like everyone's like,
no
what?
two-step for you.
Yeah, hell yeah. But that and like Pentangle and really like stuff like that, like vinyl wise, is like what I want, like what I've been wanting to listen to on vinyl in my house.
Do you know Lankum?
I don't know.
You should check out Lankum. Lankum are great. They're kind of like a dark Irish trad band. They're brilliant. They're really, really, really good.
Yeah, so, I will. Yeah. I will look them up.
I think you really like them. Their last album is flawless. It's one of the best Irish albums of the last 20 years. So check them out.
Wow.
They're really, really good.
Incredible. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And as for like the first, when you say first, what do you mean? Like when we were growing up?
Like when you were growing up, what was the album that made you go, "Oh fuck, I like this"? First.
It was Alice in Chains, Dirt.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
What age were you when you listened to Alice in Chains? They're not exactly a fucking childhood band.
No, my mom.
They were childhood band for me. Fuck.
Oh
yeah,
really? Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
See, we come from a Catholic Ireland country, so it was U2 and Westlife, and that was pretty much it for a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if we're really going deep, my mom played everything from disco to like heavy metal and everything in between. But yeah, she had, we have those massive booklets of CDs, just massive. And I remember hearing that. I remember hearing the Clueless soundtrack was a really big thing for me. The Muffs were on that soundtrack, and I'm a massive Muffs fan, and they really there's some bangers on that compilation. A lot of movie soundtracks were really big to me growing up. That's like how I found a lot of music.
Shrek soundtrack when I was growing up was the one. Counting Crows. I still love them.
Oh my God, amazing. I love that. What about you,
Rorik? For yourself?
Yeah, I would say the first album I can think of that really would have been like activation point, as they might say. I don't know. Was White Zombie, La Sexorcisto. And then
we were just listening to that last night.
yeah,
Love
Astro
White
Creed.
Zombie. Love Rob Zombie. Fucking awesome music.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just remember being my brother-in-law at the time had a Camaro IROC Z28, think like Joe Dirt kind of car. And we'd have the T-tops down. We both had mullets, and he had 15s in the back of the car, so it was like bumping, and it was fucking White Zombie in our small little Christian Midwest town, and just but yeah. But my first tape
Literally
I ever bought was
music video,
was Aqua,
more or less.
so that
Sorry, did you say Aqua?
yeah, Barbie girl, yeah.
Nice.
My sister had that as well. I remember when she got it, and I was like, "This is sick."
Like whatever year that came out, that just happened to be I remember that was the first tape that I bought with my own money. Was the Aqua? No, it was earlier than that.
Was it?
I hope so.
I mean, 97 I always say it, was a prime year for music, movies.
I think Aqua was like 95.
Oh, was it?
Damn, okay.
For my own credibility's sake, we'll go with that, but I'm probably wrong. So, but no, I grew up in like a house like my parents were like super duper Christian, like they were like speaking in tongues and doing exorcisms and shit. So it was like
we had that in my
Satanic
house
straight
as
up.
well.
Yeah.
And so I heard a lot of Christian rock and metal. And so like that was as like painful as some of the memories are, there's definitely bands that were like influential for me at the time, like White Cross and Tourniquet and stuff, which
Sick.
White Cross sounds sketchy as fuck, but yeah, they probably are. I don't know.
Yeah, I come from a family where I used to come down the stairs and my dad would have mass in the sitting room. And we'd have these faith healer nonsense shit.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, 3 of them that came to the house all turned out to be, one of them was a domestic abuser. One of them was a alcohol. They're all hypocrites. But it's very funny because my dad's just like, he was constantly like, what happened? Like, why do you listen to such aggressive music? I was like, you played Stiff Little Fingers in the car when I was like 5.
Amazing.
Do you know? Because he's from Tyrone, so they were from up north.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, you had a lad Stiff Little Fingers and Undertones. I was like, you had lads screaming in microphones when I was like 5 to 10, and you think it's weird that I got into more aggressive stuff later on in life. It's like, you started it. It's not my fault. It's your fault.
Oh man, there's always a point in my day at the shop when I'm like tattooing and I don't know what to put on, and I always put on Stiff Little Fingers. So always, yeah.
I remember I was at a show. It was at Metallica, and Stiff Little Fingers were supporting them.
Oh my God.
I had just broken up with my girl. It was in Slane, so it was like 80,000 people. This is in Ireland. And I had just broken up with my girlfriend, and I happened to I was talking with the girl, and we got on very, very well, and we were with each other for like 2 hours. But Stiff Little Fingers started playing, and they started playing Alternative Ulster, and I started I was very drunk, just started bawling, crying. And she was just like, what's wrong? I was just like, I just really wish my dad was here. And she was like, oh, when did he pass? I was like, oh, he's not dead. I just wish he was here. And she just fucking left.
Oh, incredible.
I was like, you fucking asshole.
You're like, I've got to get away.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, I was trying to think of, and then new albums was
sorry,
recent.
Rorik, yeah.
No, I'm following my own train of thought to Aransi Pazuzu, that last one they put out. I can't remember the name of it, but it's so fucking good.
It's class.
And
super good. Then
last night I was listening to Ronald Shannon Jackson's Barbecue Dog, and I do recommend everybody listen to Ronald Shannon Jackson because it's the best.
I don't know that now, to be honest.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, he's a jazz. Ronald Shannon Jackson.
Okay,
amazing
Ronald
jazz drummer.
Shannon Jackson. Okay.
Shannon.
Okay, I got it.
Shannon.
Okay, I got it.
There we go. Yeah. Barbecue Dog is the LP I was listening to, but yeah, I mean, he's been in tons of shit. So, but that one last night, I was like, this is my favorite record right now. So
sick.
Oh, that's awesome.
When you hear the term underrated artist, who pops into your head first?
Underrated. Oh, we're bad at on the spot stuff. Let's
Yeah,
see.
Sorry.
bro.
Well, don't worry. This will all be edited. We'll cut all the gaps out. Don't worry.
Oh God, underrated.
David Lee Roth. You ever heard
No,
no.
I'm just kidding.
Yankee Rose, come on.
Oh God, no. There's so many times we've been in the van and they'd be like, you know what time it is? It's time for Yankee Rose. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking jump out the van right now. Like,
Yeah.
they love to do that. They love to do that one. I mean, I know all the
Underrated.
words.
Yep.
Did you?
I'm struggling to think of underrated.
Just
Yeah,
on
I don't
David
know,
Lee
'cause-
Roth. Did you ever hear when he visited the set of South Park?
No.
He visited the set of South Park and he was with Bill Hader.
No, this
and-
sounds great.
He was with Bill Hader?
He was with Bill Hader because Bill Hader used to write and do voices in South Park. And like he went up to a guy who was animating. He was like, "Cool job, man." Like, you guys like, what the fuck? But at one point, I think he asked him,
I could do it.
He goes.
Yeah.
I think at one point he was like, "So when are we going for drinks or something like that?" And Bill Hader was like, "Well, we're not. Like, we're working on the show." And he opened up a jacket, and he had like in the lining of his jacket just cans of beer the whole way down.
Holy
Yes.
shit. That's so sick.
Yeah. I wish I could
That's what I
aspire to
want.
be
Okay.
half the
That was
man
the other
that
thing.
what I
David Lee
want.
Roth.
He was talking about a movie idea. He was talking about a movie idea, and Bill Hader was like, "Well, why don't you
with
do it
Bill
with
Hader.
why don't you do it with the guys?" And he goes, "No, I don't want any of those guys involved. It's just going to be me."
Oh man, dude. Okay, if I met David Lee Roth, I would want it to exactly be in that situation. Like
Yeah.
that super specific Bill Hader animating or the other guy.
Trey
oh, that's
Parker,
incredible. Yeah. What's up, guys? You ready to party? It's just like it's just Duff Man from The Simpsons, but David Lee Roth.
Oh, hey, I thought of an underrated band.
Okay.
It's not that they're underrated. It's just I think that there more people need to listen to them. They're called Northless. They're from Milwaukee.
Oh yeah.
Though Eric lives in Rhode Island now, but Northless, everybody, what an amazing fucking band.
What type of music is it?
It's like sludge, sort of in the Thou vein, but it's more riffy. It's like more like triumphant riffs, I think. It's real down in the dumps music, though. Feel real bad.
And that's what we celebrate on this podcast.
I'm also trying to think of something, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm really obsessed with my friend Tuesday's band, Not Work. They're like super heavy crossed. I'm actually like traveling across the country with them soon to play this. They're playing this huge crust fest out in the Pacific Northwest where everyone camps. We made banners and they say Camp Krusty. It's very adorable.
Cute.
We painted them. We painted them at the tattoo shop together. It was fucking so precious. But she made like a Simpsons looking bat going through like a peace sign, and it says Camp Krusty, like from The Simpsons. Love it so much. But they are really, really fucking good, and I'm a massive fan. She's gonna kill me that I'm talking about her so much. But I'm a massive fan of like all the bands she does and how they write and like and Not Work is so fucking good. They also have this other band called Head Eruption, and they're my favorite Detroit band ever. They're also one of my favorite grind bands ever. Definitely. I think it's kind of, I don't even know if their music's got to be online because they've been playing forever. It's just them and their husband. But yeah, Not Work is super good. And they just released a split with this band called Duca, and they're a cross band from Pittsburgh. Who are also really good. But yeah, check out Not Work for sure. If you want like heavy fucking just super brutal crusty grind that's like so well executed and like the lyrics are really good or vocals are really good. Yeah, I think I would say, yeah, check out that band.
Fantastic. Okay, they're going on the list. And I because as I said, don't want to keep you all day, but I'm going to ask you one question, and it's only because we talked about it earlier on in the episode. But I know you guys don't have a ton of breakdowns in your music, but because you have, in my opinion, the sickest breakdown, Aluminium Branches, what is your favorite breakdown of other bands?
Oh, there's a bunch of breakdowns in Human Remains that are really good. That when they happen, it's just like you want to punch a pane of glass as hard as possible. I also think I also think a legendary breakdown. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a breakdown. Would it be, Rorik? The intro to Junkyard God by Pig Destroyer.
Oh yeah, that's a
it's not really.
Yeah, they can qualify.
We'll give you that one.
Yeah, would that qualify? Yeah.
Marauder. Fucking
yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah, man. It's
Mine will
a Master
always
Killer,
be,
right?
Converge. The sadness will never end. That where it just gets faster every single time they play. The riff is every single time. I was like, that is so sick.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
But guys, that's all the questions I have for you. Now, by the way, I'm going to have to thank Drew from See You Next Tuesday, because he was the one that put on the idea for getting you guys on, because he said Rorik is cool as fuck, and I was like, okay.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay,
Drew's awesome.
Here's a very funny connection that we have to See You Next Tuesday. So Rick, the guitarist, bass player. Oh my God, Rick, I'm sorry.
We'll cut that out. We'll cut that out.
It's okay. No. You can keep it in. He's fucking. It's Rick. But tattoo artist, and so is Fox. And Rick learned under the same mentor to tattoo that I did.
Oh,
so
wow, okay.
we tattoo in the same shop sometimes, and I tattoo at his old station at my shop. It's very funny. So we both are tattoo artists under the same mentor, but we're both in grind bands, and it's funny. We always like joke that Dawn is just good at producing like apprentices and tattoo artists that are in weird bands. Yeah, and a grind band.
Yeah.
But
we got to do some shows with them. That's got to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking to myself, like we've been trying to get some shows together with them forever, and just never works out. But when I was in a metalcore band many years ago. It was like 2003 or 4, and that was when I met Drew. And See You Next Tuesday was just starting, so we shared a couple. One of their original members, Adam Payne. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud, but known them forever. Great band.
Yeah, fantastic band. But guys, like honestly, like as I said, this is the 250th episode. I would happily retire tomorrow after this, because I love you guys so much. It's so you've no idea how awesome it is having you guys on here for a chat. I remember even briefly meeting you when at the London show. I just was like, that's the coolest band ever. So to have you on the podcast just for a little chat this Sunday evening, or what morning for you guys, is honestly a dream come true. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been such a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, and let's hang out. Let's all hang out as friends when we're in Ireland.
Yeah. If you ever want to come to Dublin, ask me and I'll help you book a show.
Yeah,
we want to come to Dublin.
Yeah, we want to come to Dublin. Yeah.
Yep.
And I will definitely get in contact when I'm over there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Please do. Yeah. I'll tell you the best places.
We'll share
to go.
a proper pint.
Exactly. Yes. And don't go to Temple Bar. Any American listeners, do not go to Temple Bar for a pint.
Fuck that place.
Three times the prices it is everywhere else. But anyway, guys, thank you so much.
I want to go to a pub where it's like there's only like 8 people in there, and they've been going to the same pub for like 25 years.
There's about 300 pubs in fucking like a kilometer distance at some points in Dublin. You'll be fine. You'll find one.
All right, God, thank God.
But guys, thank you so much again. It's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The